to record.
The 9th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Pele, Yoetz.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we get up to over here.
Page 94.
94. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Looks
where
like
I'm see.
the second big paragraph, the responsibility is greater. I think that's where we're at.
Okay, very good. So Mayor, start for us.
Okay, very good. The responsibility is greater for Torah scholars of the city to raise the honor of the judge, and they must not make themselves into lawyers who instruct the litigants which claims to make for the sake of monetary profit. Heaven forbid. If they act so, it causes several bad things. They increase controversy among the Jewish people. They increase denigration among Torah scholars. They increase scorn for the Torah and those who learn it. They disparage themselves and the reputation of the judge. And the worst of them, the rest of them all, is that they cause the desecration of God's name. The flame of the fire of discord bursts upward until the heart of the heavens, and people say of them, those who pursue licentiousness have come together, harlots who beautify each other. They have alienated themselves from your Torah. Regarding them, it says in Shir HaShirim, seize for us the foxes. Therefore, people will say, fortunate are those people whose way is wholesome, who walk with God's Torah. And they will not get involved in any business dealing, judgment, or matter of the city.
So I'm confused with this comment about lawyers. He's saying that there should not be lawyers in Beis Din?
No, let's read again what it is that he's saying. Right, as we've been saying all along, what the theme over here is to have respect for the judges and respect for the legal system that the judge is administering. So you have a situation like this. He says the responsibility in order to uphold the authority of the judge and the legal system that he is administering in the city is even greater. That responsibility lies heavier on the Torah scholars, the other Torah scholars of the city, other than the judge, whether or not he's a Torah scholar. But what is their responsibility? Because people are going to look to them and say, they'll ask him, this Torah scholar, a rabbi, do you think the judge of our city is judging the cases properly? Did you hear about the last thing that he said? So now, if this Torah scholar is going to start to denigrate the decisions that the judge is making, that only lowers the banner of Torah and is the absolute desecration of Hashem's name. So he shouldn't say that he disagrees with what the judge has ruled. He can bring you proofs. He could adduce all sorts of proofs for his position against the position of the judge of the city. This is the theme of what he's talking about over here.
So what if you have a judge that's incompetent?
What if you have a judge that what?
Incompetent. You have a judge
Incompetent.
that's
Right.
making bad decisions. He doesn't know the halakha. And
Well, that judge was not supposed to be appointed. That's not the situation that we're talking about over here. I'm not talking about we said that they're supposed to appoint a judge who makes proper decisions. Okay, so you want to know what happens if they appointed an improper judge?
right.
What do they do in that case? Oh, by the way, okay, I see that this is the theme. In other words, how does the Torah provide for yeah, see, so far he hasn't mentioned anything about this. The only thing that he mentioned was if the judge doesn't have proper midos, he's difficult to work with, et cetera, et cetera. So then the Pele had said on the top of page 93, you need to tolerate him, you need to work with him, because if you're going to start up with him, it's not going to be good for the city. It's not going to be good for the city.
I would counter and I would say if you have a bad judge in there who's making bad judgments one after another, that's not good for the city.
The danger of having discord and machloikis in a city is the greatest danger that there is. We don't understand that because we have a democratic system and everybody's allowed to disagree and make fights and make discord, and everybody has their own opinion, and there's no authority. There's no authority like that, and the discord that happens between all the various factions is not something that it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. That's the worst thing that there could be. That there's disagreements, there could be. Disagreements, there could be. But there can't be machloikis and disrespect for the judge of the city. That situation cannot be. And that's what he's been talking about here, the whole theme.
All right, so back to the question, the original question. What's wrong with there being a lawyer? If a person is not a Torah scholar and he's involved in some kind of a business dealing with a fellow Jew, and he feels he's been cheated, he wants to go to Beis Din,
Yeah,
but he doesn't know. He's not a scholar. He doesn't know how to present his case. He needs help. He needs somebody who knows the halacha to tell him, these are the valid points you can make. Let's say, for example, interest. Let's say interest is involved in the case, in the business deal. Interest is a very, very complicated area of halacha. He needs advice. How do I state my claim that interest was charged incorrectly or something like that?
okay. So we have to understand something. The Torah legal system is totally the opposite of a secular legal system. There's no necessity whatsoever for a lawyer. Why is this? Because the Torah says like this: what does the judge need to hear about this case? He needs to hear the facts. He needs to hear what happened. Who knows what happened? Does the lawyer know what happened? He doesn't know a thing about what happened. He wasn't there. Who knows what happened? The parties to the case. Now, if the judge receives all the facts of the case about what happened, he hears this person's side of the story, he hears that person's side of the story, he hears what this person claimed, he hears what that person claimed. So then the judge, based upon the facts of the case, renders a legal decision based upon the facts of the case that has been presented to him. Is there anything missing? Absolutely not. Nothing is missing. Just like when someone asks a Rav a Shaila, what does the Rav need to hear? Even a person that doesn't know anything about the halacha, the Rav will ask him any questions that are relevant to the situation. He may not have seen fit to relate. And based upon the facts and the information that he receives, the Rav renders a decision. Does the Rav need to hear the question presented by a Talmud Chacham? No, there's no reason for that. All the Rav needs to hear is the facts. Who knows the facts? The parties to the case. What purpose does a lawyer serve in the process, in the legal process? What's the purpose? Who needs him?
He clarifies the situation.
How does he clarify the situation?
He goes over all the details with the person, with the defendant or the claimant, and he understands the halacha, and he says, "This is what you can claim. This you can't claim that." I'll give you an example.
That's up to the judge. No, incorrect. That's up to the judge to decide what the halacha is based upon the facts that the party to the case tells him. He doesn't need to. He does the party to the case. He doesn't need to suggest to the judge, you should rule like this. You should rule like that. There's an issue over here to consider. There's an issue over there to consider. That's the judge's business. The judge rules on the halacha. The judge rules on the case. The lawyer doesn't need the help from the judge. The judge doesn't need the help from the lawyer. He's the judge. He's the one that's deciding the case. There's no need for a lawyer to suggest any viewpoints or angles or anything of that sort. Unnecessary.
Well, I had a case where this came up, and I didn't have a lawyer, and I lost out because the judges were fooled because the defendant was smart and he knew how to trick them.
And if you have a lawyer who's smarter than the other lawyer, he'll also trick the judge then. So what have you accomplished?
You even the playing field. If you have two lawyers that are both knowledgeable, they'll uncover the deception, and you'll end up with the truth actually being presented to the judges.
The facts, the people know. I don't agree. I do not agree.
Cases can be
If
very
anything, the law. This is what the Pele Yoetz is saying.
Let's
The
go ahead.
lawyers mixed in, and they present arguments, and based upon their expertise, they prevail upon the judge. For what purpose? To promote the claim of their claimants. Why should their claimant be the one who wins the case? Let the judge decide who should win the case.
I see.
It's not inconceivable that
If you're saying that the judge can be fooled, so then the judge can be fooled even more with the lawyer.
okay, but if the judge
Why is the lawyer going to help?
if the judge can be fooled, there's got to be some way of not letting this happen. It wouldn't be unusual. It's possible to lie. I'm sure it's possible to lie and be so convincing that you might even convince the other party. But, and you need some help in presenting your case.
See the
Maybe you may not be able to present your case properly for some reason. You might forget something. You might not be able to impress upon the judges what really did happen. You might need someone to hold your hand.
So then what's going to happen over here is the one who's going to win the case is the one who has the best lawyer. Is that justice?
Is it justice that the one who wins the case is the one who has got the best lies?
What does that have to do with there being a lawyer or not?
Because the lawyer might be able to uncover the lies. And
Who knows whether it's a lie or not? Who knows? Does the lawyer know what happened? Does he know the facts of the case? He doesn't know what happened between these two people.
okay, but the person who is involved
The two people
knows.
themselves know what happened.
So the
If one person is going to say, he's going to say, you told me this and that, and you said this and that, and blah, 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 blah. What's the other one going to say? You're a blankety blank liar. I never said such a thing. Don't worry, he's not gonna agree. When it comes to money, people are very clever.
Okay, so if he doesn't agree,
they defend themselves very well. They know the facts of the case.
Yeah, okay. So how are they going to know? How's the court going to know if
who's lying?
Yes.
How is such a problem ameliorated by the presence of a lawyer who doesn't even know what the conversation or the agreement was between these people? He doesn't. How is he going to resolve it? Who's the one who's lying?
Very often the person involved doesn't know what happened without a lawyer prompting him to uncover what happened, and the lawyer would know just as the judge would know from what the defendant says.
Yeah, that's the case that I had. I didn't know. I wasn't halakhically aware of the issue.
What happened? Let's hear.
What happened?
You keep talking about this. Let's talk about the facts. What happened actually?
Okay, what happened was I was building a house, and the builder had to borrow money in order to build the house. And so he charged me interest because he paid interest. And then when he defaulted, and I had to borrow money in order to cover his default. Bye. I had to pay interest. So when he showed his financial sheet, which was very complicated, it was huge. It was had more than 100 entries on it. He listed the interest as carry cost. And when I made my claim, I said, I incurred interest because I had to cover for his default. And therefore, I'm claiming that I should be reimbursed for that. And
Yeah,
the
okay.
judge said, a Jew doesn't pay interest. And I didn't know what to say. I mean, I wasn't knowledgeable. I didn't know the laws of Rivas. And I didn't realize that the defendant had tricked the judge by listing it as carry cost instead of listing it as interest. If I had had a lawyer, the lawyer would have jumped up and said, wait a second. But as it was, I lost
What
out.
could the lawyer have said? I don't understand. You
Said-
yourself told the judge, I paid interest. What's the lawyer going to say more than what you said?
The lawyer's going to say, if you're going to not allow my client to claim interest, you should not allow the defendant to claim interest either.
Hmm.
And the defendant says, I'm not claiming interest. And the lawyer says, yes, you are. When you say carry cost, that's really interest.
You said that yourself.
I
I
didn't
don't understand.
know
I don't
that.
understand.
I didn't say that, Rabbi. I didn't know that. I'm saying that's how he tricked me and the judge, because it was a very complex case. The financial records were very lengthy, and the carry cost was hidden in there. It was one of 100 items, and the judge did not have the fortitude to go through each item and understand and say, whoa, carry cost, what's that? And figure out that it was really interest. But a lawyer would, because a lawyer would go through every line of the financial statement and figure it all out.
Mhm. Okay, I don't really understand how, I don't understand. So you're all saying that a lawyer is worthwhile because he can help you to pursue your case.
He evens the playing field, because you can have one person who is completely ignorant, like I was. I was just a Baal Tshuva. I had just started to become religious. And, I was attending Shirim, but I didn't know much at all, very much. I knew very little. And the builder was a FFB. He knew very well. He was very learned. And he had me at a tremendous disadvantage because he knew a lot more than I did.
I think that it doesn't sound like it has anything to do with who is more knowledgeable about the halacha, but he just didn't list on the on his. Obviously, he didn't list that he charged you interest because he knows that you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
So he didn't reveal that was so. So you made a claim. You claimed that you paid interest, and why the judge said what he said to you, I don't really know. But you think that if a lawyer would have been there, he would not have let the judge say that to you.
Yes,
Um,
he would not have allowed that mistake to go through. He would have said, well, they paid interest also. And carry cost is a code word for interest.
okay, so in other words, the reason why you lost the case was because you didn't have a lawyer. If you would have had a lawyer, you would not have lost the case.
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Is that a Moon and Bitochen perspective? No.
So you want to
You're
say
supposed to
that what
lose the
happened was
case.
right, regardless of what happened.
Okay. Um, okay, so you're saying basically that there is a place for a lawyer because a lawyer can assist a person who doesn't know what he's doing, and he won't let the judge. You're concerned that the judge will not properly help the person that doesn't know any better, and he will get fooled by the more knowledgeable other side.
And also, the lawyer would be able to challenge the other party, not just the judge, but the other party as well.
How?
Say, in Lou's case, the lawyer would say, "Look at what you've got down here. This cost here is not what you said it is. It's really interest, isn't it?"
But that's what I said. I said Lou already said that.
Yeah, but the lawyer would
I
be
don't.
able to
Why?
say it.
Why is what?
That
Why is
he-
what the?
Lou
Why
didn't
does
know.
everybody thinking that if the lawyer says it, it has more authority than if the party to the case says it? Why? What's the
Lou
difference?
didn't know that. Lou didn't know this about the interest that it be.
From my understanding, Lou told him that he paid interest,
All right. Well, all
I
right.
paid interest when I
Yeah.
didn't
and you said that to the judge. He said that to the judge.
but I didn't tell him
What more would the lawyer have said?
The lawyer would be able to prove it, or be able to convince the judge that is so, despite the other person saying, "No, it's not. It's another kind of cost,"
How do you know that?
because that's the lawyer's job, and that's what he would do.
That's what you pay him to do.
That's what he would do.
Okay.
He would do that. Even not a very good lawyer would do that.
And what happens if a person wins a case because he has a better lawyer than the other lawyer?
If he wins the case because
Let's say one person has a lawyer and the other person doesn't have a lawyer. So the person, according to you, since he's got a lawyer and the lawyers, and you say that a lawyer knows how to do better, so he's gonna win the case for his client, which really the client really
not necessarily.
the law was really with the other side that didn't have a lawyer.
Mm.
So because of the presence of the lawyer, you're causing the case to be decided by in the improper way, in the incorrect way. No?
Probably. It seems like that.
So what it all boils down to is that whoever has the stronger, the bigger gun, he's going to win the case according to everybody here.
Not necessarily.
So how is it that the
Not
lawyer is
necessarily.
solving the problem of creating justice?
Not necessarily. We're saying that the lawyer would be able to bring out the points that his client wouldn't understand or wouldn't know about. That would be helpful in his case.
I would argue, Rabbi, that
Mm-hmm.
the more ignorance there is, the easier it is to obfuscate the truth. So if you bring lawyers in and you reduce the level of ignorance, the truth is going to shine forth more brightly. it's going to be harder to obfuscate it. And therefore, the judges are more likely to get the truth.
I don't understand. The lawyer wasn't even there. He doesn't know what happened.
Neither was the
How is
judge.
he going to? How is he going to bring out the truth any more than the person who was there and who does know what happened and does know what was said?
Well,
How does that work?
in my case, Rabbi, the fact that I was there, quote unquote, is not that significant because, as I said, it was a very complicated case, and it was dependent upon this financial sheet, which was very lengthy, and I wasn't necessarily so knowledgeable about everything that was on there either. He basically produced this sheet showing all of his costs and justifying the charges that he made, and it
He
was
was
up,
being dishonest.
what?
He was being dishonest. He
No,
was
he was being
deliberately.
perfectly honest. It's just that he knew that if he called it carry costs, it wouldn't. The judges would not be alerted to the fact that it was really interest. But he was perfectly honest, as far as I know. I should have hired a lawyer and had him go through the financial statements and understand every line, and then come to the court with me and say, "Oh, by the way, Your Honor, these carry costs are not legitimate because they're really interest."
Again, you keep saying this. I don't understand. You told the judge I paid interest, right?
No. You're confusing two things.
You didn't tell the judge that you paid interest? Why did the judge mention anything about interest then? A Jew doesn't pay interest.
There's me paying interest and there's him paying interest. Okay, I'm not talking about me paying interest. There was no confusion about that. I'm talking about the fact that he paid interest. That's what was illegal, according to Torah.
You told the judge that the builder paid interest?
No, I didn't. That was my mistake.
What did you say to the judge such that the judge said a Jew doesn't pay interest?
I said to the judge, I had to pay interest. Therefore, I would like it to be reimbursed to me.
Okay, so you made the claim to the judge that you had to pay the builder interest.
No, I had to pay interest to the bank.
You had to pay interest to the bank?
I had to borrow money because the builder defaulted.
So you were asking for your to be reimbursed for the loan that you had to make and the interest that you had to pay to the bank.
Were you a guarantor?
Correct.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, I guess I see. I don't really understand the facts of the case.
I was the purchaser.
But okay, see, the thing is like this. You're basically saying the lawyer will be able to present the facts of the case in a better way than the person who the party to the case.
No, and that's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the lawyer will be better able to understand the interplay between the facts of the case and the halacha. The thing about the lawyer is that he knows the halacha and he knows the facts of the case. I knew the facts of the case, but I didn't know the halacha.
Well, the judge has the responsibility to know the halacha. Why do we need a lawyer to tell the judge what the halacha should be? That's my question. According to the Torah legal system, the judge is the one who has the responsibility to decide the case according to the law that he understands. The legal system in Torah it's not a debate between the two lawyers. What is the proper halacha? They are not judges to the case. The judge is the one who decides what the halacha is in the case. It's not supposed to be it's not a base medrash where you got this side saying the halacha should be like this and that side says the halacha should be like that. That's a misunderstanding. That's not what a din Torah is supposed to be. The judge is the one who decides the halacha. The lawyers don't promote that this should be the halacha, that should be the halacha.
On what
We don't need a lawyer to do that.
On what basis does the judge?
What?
On what basis does the judge decide what the halacha is? What information?
The information that he receives from the two parties to the case, or any other witnesses who have firsthand knowledge of what happened, as opposed to the lawyer who has no firsthand knowledge of anything about the entire case.
Okay.
What does he need to open his mouth for? He doesn't know anything about what happened.
And if the person can't give the right information, is incapable of giving the correct information of what happens then? Out of ignorance.
Does he know what happened does he know what happened to him? Why he's in court? Does he know? Does he know?
He may not.
What two people make an agreement.
He may not know. He may not be able to. He may not be able to present the facts of the case as he knows it.
All he has to do is tell the judge what happened. He doesn't have to angle the information in such a way as to persuade the judge to decide this way or persuade the judge to decide that way. That's not proper.
He doesn't know that.
Tell the judge what happened. What were the facts of the case? And let the judge decide according to the halacha, based upon the facts that he has heard, what is the halacha. What does a lawyer who does not know anything about the facts of the case, doesn't know a thing about the facts of the case, what is his purpose over here?
So that's the problem. What are the facts of the case?
Not the judge.
The person involved may not be able to see the facts of the case.
Okay, so you have to understand something. A judge in a secular court, the lawyer presents the case. He brings the witnesses. He asks the questions to the witnesses. In a din Torah, how does the witnesses? What do the witnesses do? They say what they saw and what happened, and who questions them?
The judge.
The judge.
Mm-hmm.
The judge questions him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has all manner of investigation and analysis and probing and to get the story out of the person, the true story from the person.
Yeah,
and to do it in such a way that if this witness is saying one thing and the other witness is saying something that contradicts him, he's going to be able to bring that out. Whereas a lawyer who's promoting his client's case, he's not interested in bringing out any inconsistency between the parties, between the witnesses that his client is bringing in order to win his case. He's not going to be looking to do that.
Mm.
But a judge who wants to come out with the truth is going to be looking to do that. And he's going to ask the questions of the various witnesses. And if the witnesses' stories don't match, it's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lawyer who's presenting the case, he's being hired by his client to win the case, not to bring out the facts of the case, but to win the case. Is he going to interrogate his witnesses that he's bringing in such a way as to show that they're not telling really the same story?
So in a din, the judge is like, if you want to put it, the judge is like a lawyer for both sides. The judge has to treat both sides with the same.
He's not a lawyer at all. He's
No,
trying to find out what the truth is.
yeah,
The lawyer is trying to present the case of his client.
all right. So, but
That's
the
not what
judge-
he's trying to do. The lawyer's not trying to bring out the truth of the
right,
case.
so the judge
He's
has to
representing his
be on
client.
both sides. The judge has to
What?
be. The judge is for both sides. He's impartial.
The judge is trying to uncover what happened.
Yeah,
He's not for either side.
right.
He's trying to uncover what happened. If these two witnesses' stories don't match, so what does that say about their testimony?
So, what happened in Lou's case?
I don't know. I didn't quite follow exactly what the facts of the case, what happened over there, but I wasn't there. I don't hear what happened exactly.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
All right.
so this is what the Yoetz says.
I just want to interrupt something over here. Excuse me. But I don't know if you, if who knows here, but my husband actually studied law. He actually became a lawyer. So
You shouldn't have told us that.
life geared him in a different way. So nobody should take it personally that he's so like anti-lawyers, but he's coming, coming from his over here.
Very good. Okay.
All right, now I understand.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, I was accepted to do law in Melbourne University, but I declined. I couldn't. All I saw was stacks and stacks of bookshelves with green and brown books. Sort of. I thought that's enough. No, rather do art.
Ah,
Don't like green books, huh? Okay.
I don't mind green books, but sort of the volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
This is a
Yeah.
brown book, no?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, my wife was a lawyer. My brother and my father-in-law, Aleha HaShalom, were both lawyers. So
Uh-huh.
I have a very positive view of lawyers.
Hmm. I got a positive view of Rabbi Levitt. Oh, that's nice.
Okay. Very
Oh,
good.
so that's that.
I think we're done for today.
Oh, yes.
We beat it to death.
I mean, okay, we're done. So we
Hello,
say
Alan.
goodbye to everybody. Have good luck in
Sorry.
your Erev Shabbos preparations.
I missed something.
And,
You got to
Have
get to it.
enjoyable Shabbos, Onig Shabbos,
And
Rat Hashem.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well,
And we'll
Right,
see you
everyone be
B'ezrat
well.
Hashem on Yom Rishon.
All right, take care.
Okay.
I'm not sure. There might be something. I think I'll be all right for a young Sean.
Okay.
But